Welcome to Detective Reddington's office. Take a seat and listen to this story. It will be interesting. My name is Jake, and I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. 32. I've been married to Amanda for 7 years. We appeared to be the perfect couple. High school sweethearts, a cozy home, and 2 beautiful kids. Recently, however, something felt off. Amanda began spending more time on her phone, often looking anxious. Whenever I inquired, she dismissed my concerns, claiming it was just work stress. I wanted to trust her, but the feeling that something was wrong gnawed at me. Then came the late nights. Amanda often left for errands, sometimes vanishing for hours. When I asked about her whereabouts, her answers felt rehearsed. I noticed she was picking up extra shifts at the hospital where she worked. While I supported her ambition, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. One evening, while Amanda was in the shower, I rummaged through her purse and found a crumpled piece of paper with a phone number and the name Mark. My heart raced. Who was Mark? I couldn't recall Amanda ever mentioning him. Determined to uncover the truth, I began to dig deeper. A quick search revealed that Mark was a personal trainer at a local gym. The thought of Amanda laughing and flirting with him filled me with a mix of anger and betrayal. I became a detective in my own home, watching her every move. Finally, I decided I couldn't sit in silence anymore. I had to confront Amanda and find out what was really going on. In the following days, dread began to envelop me. I scrutinized Amanda's every interaction, feeling like a character in a thriller. One afternoon, while she was in the shower, I stood by her purse, my heart racing. I hesitated, then opened it. Inside, I found the paper with Mark's name. Panic set in. Who was this man? I quickly stuffed it back in, trying to appear normal when Amanda emerged. The tension continued to grow. I searched for answers, even conducting a reverse lookup of the number. Mark Evans lived about 20 minutes away and worked at a gym. The thought of Amanda with him fueled my jealousy and rage. Every time I saw her on the phone, I felt anxiety surge. I knew I had to confront her soon, but fear held me back. I waited for the right moment, feeling the pressure of my suspicions weighing down on me. One evening, unable to contain my emotions, I confronted Amanda. "Can we talk?" I blurted out as I washed the dishes. "Sure, what's up?" she replied casually. "I found something in your purse," I said, steeling myself. Her face changed instantly. "What do you mean?" "A piece of paper with a phone number." "Mark, right?" I asked, my heart pounding. Silence fell between us. "Oh, that's nothing. I swear," she stammered. "Nothing? Who is he?" I pressed, frustration bubbling to the surface. "You've been distant lately. It's like you're hiding something from me." "I'm not hiding anything," she shot back, her defensiveness palpable. "Mark is just a colleague from work. We were planning a team-building exercise. It slipped my mind." "Really? You expect me to believe that?" I laughed bitterly, disbelief flooding my mind. "I love you, Jake. You know that," she pleaded, tears welling in her eyes. "Do I?" I murmured, feeling anger and sadness intermingle. "Right now, it feels like I don't matter." The tension hung heavy in the air. I turned away, overwhelmed, needing space to process the chaos of emotions swirling inside me. That night felt endless. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the silence suffocating me. Amanda's presence felt distant, and I wanted to reach out, but the chasm between us seemed insurmountable. Sleep evaded me as I replayed our confrontation in my mind. Her words echoed relentlessly. Was I truly being paranoid? I felt exhausted, caught in a whirlwind of emotions. In the morning, I watched Amanda get ready for work. She smiled, but it felt forced. I wanted to believe her, but the paper haunted me. I needed answers, so I decided to follow her the next time she went out. That evening, I waited for her to leave. My heart raced as I followed her car to the gym where Mark worked. I parked a few blocks away, watching her enter the building, anxiety coursing through me. Gathering my courage, I stepped out and headed inside. I spotted Amanda immediately, She was laughing with a group of people, Mark among them. My heart sank as I watched their interaction. They stood close, her body angled toward him, and each laugh felt like a dagger to my heart. Then I saw Mark lean in, whispering something in her ear. Her cheeks flushed and she smiled. Something primal snapped within me. I couldn't take it anymore. I pushed through the crowd, fueled by a mix of anger and heartbreak. "Hey!" I called out, my voice cutting through the noise. Both Amanda and Mark turned to look at me, surprise on their faces. "Jake, what are you doing here?" Amanda asked, panic evident. "What's going on here, Amanda?" I demanded, my heart racing. "Nothing. We were just chatting," she replied defensively. "Just chatting? Who is he?" I pressed, my frustration boiling over. "I can explain," she insisted. But I wasn't sure I wanted to hear her excuses anymore. "I don't want to hear it right now," I snapped. "I need to know if I can trust you. If there's anything going on between you two, I want to hear it from you." Mark looked from Amanda to me, clearly uncomfortable. "I think I should. Stay out of this," I shot back. "Jake, it's not what you think," Amanda said, desperation in her voice. But even as she said it, I could see uncertainty in her eyes. "I don't know what to think anymore, Amanda. This is going to take time. I need to figure out what I want." "Take all the time you need," she replied softly, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Just know that I'm here, and I want to make this right." As I watched her crumble before me, I felt the walls of my heart crack a little. I needed to understand if we could recover from this or if we were on the brink of separation. The night felt endless. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the silence pressing down on me like a heavy blanket. I tried to focus on Amanda's breathing beside me, but all I could think about was Mark and the betrayal lurking beneath the surface. Sleep evaded me. I replayed the confrontation over and over in my mind. Each time, the weight of her words crushed me anew. "You're just being paranoid." Those words echoed relentlessly, digging into my psyche. By morning, I was exhausted. I watched Amanda as she got ready for work, her movements fluid yet practiced. She smiled at me, a tight smile that didn't reach her eyes, and I felt a pang of longing mixed with resentment. "Are you okay?" she asked, concern lacing her tone. "Yeah, just tired," I replied, forcing a smile. As she left for work, I felt a wave of loneliness wash over me. The house was quiet, too quiet, and the silence felt deafening. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched from the shadows. I decided to follow Amanda again. It was drastic, but I felt the urge to uncover the truth. That evening, I waited for her to leave, my heart pounding with anticipation. When she finally stepped out, I grabbed my keys and followed her. As I trailed her car, my mind raced with possibilities. Was she meeting Mark? My stomach twisted with fear and anger as I neared the gym. I parked a few blocks away, my pulse quickening as I watched her pull in. I felt a surge of adrenaline as I stepped out of my car. I entered the gym, the scent of sweat filling the air. I spotted Amanda immediately, chatting and laughing with a group of people, Mark among them. My heart sank as I watched their interaction. Every laugh she shared with him felt like a dagger to my heart. I stood there, invisible in the crowd, wanting to scream but feeling frozen in place. Then, I saw Mark lean in closer, whispering something in her ear. Her cheeks flushed, and a smile spread across her face. Something primal snapped within me. I couldn't take it anymore. "Hey!" I called out, my voice cutting through the noise. Both Amanda and Mark turned to look at me, surprise flashing across their faces. "Jake, what are you doing here?" Amanda asked, her voice a mix of panic and annoyance. "What's going on here, Amanda?" I demanded, locking eyes with her. "Nothing. We were just chatting," she said defensively. "Just chatting? Who is he?" I pressed, my heart racing. "I can explain," she said. But the hurt was too fresh, and I didn't want to hear her excuses anymore. "I don't want to hear it right now," I snapped. "I just need to know if I can trust you. If there's anything going on between you two, I want to hear it from you." Mark looked from Amanda to me, clearly uncomfortable. I think I should. Stay out of this, I shot back. Jake, it's not what you think, Amanda insisted, desperation in her voice. But even as she said it, I could see the uncertainty in her eyes. I don't know what to think anymore, Amanda. This is going to take time. I need to figure out what I want. I can't just pretend everything is okay. Take all the time you need, she replied softly, tears streaming down her cheeks. Just know that I'm here, and I want to make this right. Watching her crumble, I felt the walls of my heart crack a little. I needed to understand if this was something we could recover from or if we were on the brink of separation. In the days that followed, I was filled with a mix of anger, hurt, and uncertainty. I couldn't stop replaying the moment I saw Amanda with Mark. It was as if a fog had settled over my mind, making it hard to think clearly. We tried to act normal around the kids, but I could feel the tension simmering beneath the surface. One night, after putting the kids to bed, I finally confronted Amanda again. We need to talk about what happened, I said quietly. I know, she replied, her voice trembling. I'm so sorry. I never meant for you to find out this way. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my emotions. I need to understand. Why didn't you just tell me? I thought we had an open line of communication. I thought it was nothing, she admitted, tears brimming in her eyes. But I see now how wrong I was. I was scared of losing you, so I didn't want to mention him. Her words struck a chord. I realized that I, too, had neglected to share my own insecurities. I want to work through this, but I need to know you're committed to us, I said, my voice steady. I am, she replied, her sincerity evident. I love you, Jake. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. Feeling overwhelmed but determined, I suggested we seek couples therapy. Amanda hesitated at first, but eventually agreed, recognizing that we needed professional help to navigate our emotions. Our first session was tough. We sat across from the therapist, both nervous. The therapist encouraged us to express our feelings openly. I shared my pain and betrayal, and Amanda opened up about her fears and insecurities. As the sessions continued, we learned how to communicate more effectively. It was challenging at times, but we slowly began to reconnect. Each week brought us closer to understanding each other better. As the therapy sessions progressed, I noticed changes in Amanda. She became more open about her feelings and insecurities, and I learned to listen without judgment. We established a routine of honesty, creating a safe space for both of us to express our emotions. One night, while preparing dinner together, Amanda said, "Thank you for being patient with me. I know I haven't made it easy." I smiled, feeling warmth in my chest. We're in this together. I believe in us. We also began to implement date nights, ensuring we carved out time for just the two of us. It was refreshing to reconnect without the pressures of parenthood hanging over us. With our relationship on the mend, I suggested we make a point to support each other's dreams. I shared my ambition to start my own business, and Amanda expressed her desire to explore new career opportunities. We made a pact to encourage each other, reminding ourselves that we were a team. I felt more confident about my plans knowing Amanda was in my corner, cheering me on. One weekend, Amanda surprised me with a brainstorming session for my business idea. We spent hours discussing possibilities, laughing and dreaming together. It felt like a fresh start, and I could see the passion reigniting between us. As Amanda settled into her new job and I launched my business, we faced new challenges. Amanda received a promotion that came with longer hours and increased stress. I was proud of her achievements but worried about how it would affect our time together. I noticed the late nights returning, and I feared the distance creeping back in. One evening, after a particularly late night for her, I confronted Amanda again. "Are you okay? You've been working so much lately. I'm worried we're slipping back into old patterns." "I know," she sighed, rubbing her temples. "I've been trying to prove myself at work, but I feel overwhelmed." In that moment, I realized I had to step up and support her. "Let's tackle this together. We can create a schedule that allows you to thrive at work without sacrificing our family time." She looked at me, her eyes softening. "Thank you for understanding. I want to do better for us. With both of us committed to making our relationship work, we began to rediscover joy in our daily lives. Weekend family activities became a priority again, and we made time for each other amidst our busy schedules. One sunny Saturday, we took the kids to the beach. As we built sandcastles and splashed in the waves, I glanced at Amanda, her hair blowing in the sea breeze. It struck me how far we had come and how much we had fought for this moment. After a fun-filled day, we sat on the beach watching the sunset, feeling a sense of peace. I turned to Amanda, grateful for her presence in my life. I'm so glad we're here together. Me too, she smiled, leaning into me. I've never felt more connected to you. As we continued to rebuild our relationship, I felt more hopeful about the future. Amanda and I were learning to communicate openly and trust each other again. During one of our check-ins, I mentioned my desire to travel. Let's plan a trip together, just the two of us, I suggested. I'd love that. We could explore a new place and reconnect, Amanda replied, her eyes shining with excitement. We began planning our getaway, anticipating the adventure ahead. It felt good to have something to look forward to as a couple, a chance to create new memories together. With our bond growing stronger, we faced challenges that tested our resolve. Amanda's workload fluctuated, and there were days when stress threatened to pull us apart. However, we learned to lean on each other during tough times. One evening, I noticed Amanda seemed particularly overwhelmed. I pulled her aside and said, "Let's take a break, just you and me. We can watch our favorite movie or go for a walk." She smiled, grateful for my support. "Thank you, Jake. I really appreciate it." As we enjoyed each other's company, I felt our connection deepening. We were no longer just surviving, we were thriving. Months passed, and I felt more confident in our relationship. We embraced change, tackling new challenges as a team. Amanda's promotion at work allowed her to grow professionally, and I found fulfillment in my business. One night, we sat on the couch reflecting on our journey. "I never thought we'd come this far," Amanda admitted, her voice filled with emotion. "I'm proud of us," I replied. "We've fought hard for our love, and it's worth it." We celebrated our progress and promised to continue prioritizing our relationship, even amidst life's unpredictability. With each passing day, I felt our love grow stronger. We established open lines of communication, and trust slowly began to rebuild. Our weekly check-ins became a cherished ritual, allowing us to express our thoughts and feelings honestly. One day, I surprised Amanda with a picnic in the park. As we sat under the shade of a tree, I took her hand and said, "I want to thank you for everything, for being patient, for working on us." Tears filled her eyes as she squeezed my hand. "I want you to know I'm committed to this. You mean the world to me." As we embraced our future, I knew we had the tools to face whatever challenges came our way. Our relationship had been tested, but we emerged stronger and more connected. Looking at Amanda, I realized how far we had come. The struggles had brought us closer, and I felt a renewed sense of hope. We stood side by side, ready to embrace life's adventures together. "Here's to us," I said, raising my glass during a small celebration at home. "To us?" she echoed, a bright smile lighting up her face. We clinked our glasses, and I knew that, no matter what, we would face the future together, hand in hand.